What's up, guys? How are you guys doing? Bringing another video here online. I played a 15K guaranteed. This is a $109 tournament, and at this point we were already in the money. I'm here with Fantasy Poker. I think it paid 27 spots, and I'm pretty sure at this point we were 17-handed. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive. Either 17 or 16 left. And it was a pretty big final table. I'm pretty sure first place was like $3,700. So obviously at this point we had 2,000 big in the big line, and that means that I was a little short stacked. I had 13 and a half big blinds, almost 14 big blinds, and this time happened on the big line. I have 10-6 off, and everybody folds to a small blind. And this guy limps. Of course, I'm not going to go crazy with 10-6 off, so I'm just going to check my option. On the flop comes Queen 10-4 rainbow. I flop a pair. I'm flopping a pair heads up, even though I have a back kicker on middle pair. It's actually pretty strong, so I don't know that I'm betting. I haven't decided yet. I don't know exactly. I guess if it checks to me, I bet, but I'm definitely not folding on this spot. So he bet half the pot, and I'm definitely not going to go anywhere here. So I'm just going to call. And the turn ends up being another 10. I have trip 10s with a 6 kicker. Now my hand heads up is a really, really monster hand. Of course, he could have a better 10. Of course, he could have, you know, set of queens, set of fours. But it's very unlikely, especially because he limped. And even if he did limp with a big hand, you know, on this spot, it's just very unlikely that we're beat. So now the only thing that I'm thinking is how am I going to extract max value? So he checks, and, you know, I'm kind of discouraged by him checking because, you know, I'm thinking right now he gave up, and no matter what I bet, you know, he's just going to fold. And I decided to bet really small. I bet 1/3 of the pot. That way I can induce him jamming and bluffing, or that way I can at least keep him in there. If he has maybe a hand like, obviously King Jack, Jack 9 will stay, maybe even with a 4 he would call, definitely with a queen, although I think he would have probably bet a queen on the turn. But I'm just hoping that he stays here with anything, and actually he does, he calls. So okay, great. Now we just need the river to brick, and the river bricks. It's a 5 of spades. It doesn't complete any sort of straight. There's no flush, nothing. So right now I lose to a better 10, a 10 with a better kicker. I lose to pocket 4s, pocket 5s, pocket queens, hands like that. But obviously, you know, or 10-4, 10 queen, you know, 10-5. But I'm not even thinking that. I mean, and I can't think all the time I'm beat, especially when he checks here. And now what do I have to bet? Well, I bet small on the turn, so I commit him. And now I think if he has, you know, a queen, he would definitely continue with the hand and definitely call. I don't necessarily want to jam here because I'm actually going to try to get a little value out of my hand. I decide to bet half pot. I think is what I decided to bet. Let me think. Yep, I decided to bet half pot, and I thought, okay, you know, I think that definitely a queen would call here. And I was definitely hoping to get value out of my hand, obviously. And to my shock, he jams all in. I mean, on this spot, first of all, it's going to be really, really hard for me to fold here because I am so committed into the pot. And my hand is strong. I mean, I don't just have a queen. I have trip 10s. Especially heads up and the way the hand played out. I'm thinking, man, did he really just check twice a hand better than mine? Did he really just check turn and river? You know, because it's very possible that on the river when he checks, if I don't have a strong hand, I can just check behind. I mean, the only hand that I could be betting here is a hand that has no showdown value, like Jack 9 or King Jack. However, if he jams here, I can't call anyway, so jamming makes no sense. And I obviously at this point, I mean, I'm not super happy about it, although I'm also not folding. You know, I'm like, okay, let's see what you have. And I call, and he has pocket kings. I did not expect to see pocket kings there at all. I mean, I was shocked when I saw pocket kings. And let me say this though, for the same reasons, okay, he has kings right here, right? For the same reasons that I can't call with a hand like king jack or jack nine if I was bluffing, it's the same exact reasons why you shouldn't jam here. And that is, I guess, the instruction for today. There is absolutely no sense in shoving all in on this spot. Absolutely no sense. If I have a hand that has no showdown value like king high or jack high, and I just missed a draw, I missed an open ender on the flop and I missed it, I can't call anyway. So what's the point on shoving all in? If he has pocket kings, if I have, I guess I could potentially call with a queen. I mean, that is seemingly acceptable. I guess I could call with a hand like ace queen, king queen, but I would have raised those hands pre-flop, blind versus blind. I guess I could have queen jack. I probably would have raised also queen jack pre-flop. So I guess I could potentially call with a queen, but the point is that anything that calls you on this spot has you beat. It's gonna be very, very rare in which your opponent calls here and is not beating one pair of kings. Meaning that, I mean, I understand that he has kings and hits up, and I understand that it's a strong hand, but my point is that jamming here makes no sense for two reasons. Number one, king high and jack high, the hands that I'm bluffing with, cannot call. So I'm just gonna fold there and keep 9,600. And if I do call, most likely I haven't beat anyway. And that becomes a bad shot either way. So in my opinion on this spot, I'm actually making it really clear that I don't think he should have folded the kings. I think he just got unlucky that I turned trip tens. But I think on that spot, he could have just called, saved himself, 9,000 in chips, which would be, roughly 4.5 big lines or 5 big lines, and still try to make a comeback right there. I don't think there was any need to shove all in. And I know this is super marginal because, I mean, you're talking about 4.5, 5 big lines, but those are 4.5, 5 big lines that can get you back in the game. I just think that shoving here makes no sense. I mean, when he jammed, I squinted immediately and I was like, oh, what the hell is that? Am I really beat here? I don't think I'm beat, so I just called pretty fast actually, and then I obviously was shocked to find out that he had kings. And that puts me at a 55,000 pot. We basically had the same stack, and now I'm a contender to make the final table. So anyway, that's just a little lesson right there on a spot that you absolutely don't have the nuts. There is absolutely no need to jam on that spot. He can just call. Would I fold kings on his spot? Probably not. I just got beat, and I mean, again, that just goes to say pre-flop, he's just got to raise that. I mean, 10-6 off has to just fold there, and I don't think there's any point of getting greedy on that spot. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I think this is open for discussion. Let's hope that we can comment on this and see if we all agree on this. On this spot, he just needs to call, and there's no need on shoving. Okay, all right. Have good luck at the tables, guys. I hope you guys are doing great.